Dying enemy of G.I.Joe. Destro is his name. Destro is his name.
Welcome back to the dungeon. Today, we're going to talk about something very, very cool, in my opinion. The story of Russia's forgotten G.I. Joe toys. What if I told you G.I. Joe almost became huge in Russia? There's a missing piece that stopped the entire thing from taking off. Back in the 1990s, thousands of G.I. Joe figures were imported into Russia. Translated packaging, custom card backs, and a distributor who believed the brand could take off like wildfire. But the whole thing collapsed. And today, these toys are some of the strangest pieces in G.I. Joe history. So let's dig into it. This is the story of the Funskool Russian G.I. Joe. There's a great article, link will be in the description, where I sourced the various parts of this video from. Actually, most of the video was put online some time ago. Very good article about Russian G.I. Joe figures, very well put together by Dragon Fortress. That link will be in the description below. Let's get into it. These were not bootlegs. They were legitimate G.I. Joe figures, manufactured in India by Funskool, and then imported into Russia. There was a small distributor called Two Beetles, and the man behind the project was businessman Igor Zorovich. In the late 1990s, Russia was opening up to Western entertainment. There's foreign cartoons, foreign toys, foreign brands. Igor believed G.I. Joe could become a massive hit, so he partnered up with Funskool to produce the figures in India. Those figures would then ship to Russia with Russian language packaging. But the toys were only half the plan. The real goal was launching the cartoon, release the figures, broadcast the show, and let the brand speak for itself. Importing toys into Russia, however, was very expensive. Igor invested hundreds of thousands of dollars just producing the toys and getting them through customs. But the real obstacle was television. To make the toy succeed, the G.I. Joe cartoon had to air in Russia. That meant translating it, dubbing it, and buying TV airtime, which would have cost Igor another $200,000. This is money Igor just didn't have. Without the cartoon, the toys had no story. You see what I did there? In America, kids watched G.I. Joe after school. They knew the characters. They knew Cobra. But in Russia, kids had never seen any of it. And without that connection, the toys struggled to sell. He personally placed toys in stores, sometimes even letting retailers take inventory without paying up front. But the moment never came. Sales slowed, stores stopped ordering, and the Russian G.I. Joe experiment collapsed. But the story doesn't end there. Funskool factories sometimes produce figures for anyone willing to place an order. This meant more Russian-style figures would appear years later. Some serviced in Kazakhstan and other former Soviet territories. Collectors believe some runs may have been produced long after the 1998 release, which makes identifying them even more interesting today. These figures were manufactured in India by Funskool using real Hasbro molds. They still remain fun additions with collectors. Only 24 select figures were set on Russian card backs. A collector could have a Funskool Quick Kick, for example, and a second one on a Russian card back. Both figures are the same, but the card back is what makes it really unique. Of course, there's always slight paint app differences or molding errors, but that comes with the territory when you were mass producing thousands of figures. So the next time you see a Russian Funskool G.I. Joe figure, remember, you're not just looking at a variant, you're looking at the remains of a bold attempt to bring G.I. Joe to a whole new generation. And honestly, I love that story. If you own one of these figures, drop it in the comments. Link in the description for the Dragon Fortress article, and check out my vid here for an overview of Quick Kick and the variations between Funskool and the mail-in version. I thank you for watching this long, and look forward to hanging out with you again in the dungeon. Take care.
Enemy of G.I. Joe. Destro is his name. Destro is his name.